Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Judging Nerd Culture. I'm Ollie.
And I'm Jess.
And we're here today to talk about Wynonna Earp.
Yes.
So this is actually the 7,000th time we've recorded this because I fucked
the
up.
second time.
Well, it feels like 100 because I screwed it up. It's my fault. So anyways, hi. Despite any bumbling, any tomfoolery, any gooferys, I actually am pretty excited to talk about Wynonna Earp because it's a really fun show.
Yes.
So, as we've mentioned before, literally a few minutes ago, and also in previous recordings, I love trash dramas. I adore them. I've watched many in my life, and I will continue to watch them until I die. So, when I did start watching it, like, despite the whole Western stylings of it, I did assume I was going to like it. At least a little bit. I didn't think I was going to be like, ooh, this is really good. I just thought I was going to like it. It is good, which is nice. That is a nice bonus. But for me to like something like this, it doesn't have to be good.
Yes. So I feel weird just saying all this over again. But
Yes.
when you chose to watch this, both of us have been binge watching it for the past quarantine. And Ollie was in between Bitten, which is a werewolf drama from like AMC or Sci-Fi or something. And then we have Wynonna Earp, which I believe is Canadian. I think it's also from AMC. I don't know, you guys, a TV channel. And so it was on Netflix. He's in between the two, and I told him to go with Wynonna Earp because it's more cowboys. With a little bit of supernatural. He likes the supernatural stuff. I mean, I feel like everybody does to some extent. And you never really go with the cowboys. So
Is it true?
I told you to pick the cowboys and to see if you liked it, maybe. Something new.
And it was a pleasant surprise. And, like, I have tried to watch Bitten at least a couple dozen times. And by tried, I mean looked at it on Netflix for like an hour and just watched the trailer 2 or 3 times and decided, I'll watch something else for now. I'll come back to you later. So I'll get back to that one day.
I remember watching like the first like half of an episode or like a clip because I think my mom watched a little bit of it. My mom also watched a little bit of Wynonna Earp. So that's why I knew a little bit about what it was. But Bitten just seemed not up my alley. Just like Lost Girl. I know a lot of people liked it. My mom liked it. My mom likes a lot of these types of things. But Lost Girl was, again, not really something for me.
I also enjoyed that quite a bit, but that's not the point. I think Bitten looks like a True Blood version, like a cheaper, more werewolf-focused True Blood. Something about its visual aesthetic just sort of makes me think that. And maybe one day I'll find out if that's true or not.
I feel like it's not. But, like, I'm not a hardcore True Blood fan. At one point, I was a pretty big True Blood fan. And then she was, like, part fairy or something, and that was, I thought, really dumb. So it kind of lost me there when they had fairies come into the show.
Baby, shows...
Like, werewolves, okay. Vampires, okay. Shapeshifters, okay. Witches, okay, that makes sense. All of these things make sense. Fairies, like, okay, it's supernatural or paranormal, whatever, it makes sense. Except, it doesn't have, like, that same feel
Doesn't have the
like
same
a
aesthetic.
vampire or werewolf.
They're a
It's
little
very
more...
like childish, it feels like. I know fairies can be violent and aggressive and everything, but it just seemed strange, like out of place in that show.
Fairies seem a little more like werewolves and vampires and other things like that, witches and so on, seem very like dark fantasy, whereas fairies seem more like the Brothers Grimm style fantasy, where it's like fairy tale-esque, and those can be very, very disconnected. So like if you're gonna throw them into the same show, I feel like you gotta do it early on, like first episode, like it's all there, everything's there, deal with it. Because if you throw it in later, once you've established all of the more like grim or not all of the dark fantasy stuff, and then just try to inject some like fairy tale fantasy style things, it just feels off.
Yeah, but we're not talking about True Blood.
Or Bitten or any of that.
Wynonna Earp and the Wild Wild West.
Hell yeah. So Wynonna Earp is currently continuing. It's not a completed series. We've only watched a couple of seasons ourselves, somewhere in the 3rd season right now. So it's not going to be super spoilery for anyone who's, interested in watching. Which you should. This is basically like a popular media book club that we have going on. And we definitely recommend it. But it's more going to be more about like why we think the characters are cool or not, or so on and so forth.
I think we're on episode 6 of season 3.
Yeah.
And season 4, I think, is coming out next year or the end of this year. I'm not really sure about the world situation right now. But yeah, we know pretty much everything except for the ending of season 3.
And I have my presumptions. But despite not knowing what's going on, I've already, thoroughly enjoyed what I needed to enjoy. I'm not going to lie. Season 1 and 2, I liked it a fair bit more than like season 3 so far. But that's just me.
Is that because there's a certain character that's no longer in it?
No, I mean, maybe a little bit. I liked that character.
You can say who it is.
Yeah, so spoilers and whatnot, slightly. Character Dolls. He's he's a character.
He's a fun character. Like,
he's fun sometimes.
The character himself isn't very fun, but and to watch is fun.
But he got offed in the last season, and it's just the relationship between all the other characters are kind of shifting around and editing because of that, I guess. But mostly, I just think they're a little sassy with each other lately. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, they are quite sassy.
I'm here for...
You're here for fun?
I'm here for fun, not sass. I mean, some sass, but not all sass.
Well, Wynonna, that's kind of just what she is. Like, if you're looking for something fun, like, she is. But she is going to be sassy. She's not going to deal with her emotions in a good and healthy way. It's going to come out angry, sassy, and hurtful to other people and herself. Like we saw in the last episode we watched.
Oh boy.
Which I have a lot of opinions on.
There's so much going on in all of these all the seasons. But the main premise is Wynonna Earp and her family, the Earps, are descendants from Wyatt Earp, some actual cowboy that existed once upon a time. And he murdered a bunch of people. And then in the fake universe of the TV show, those people came back as demons. Yeah,
well, Wyatt Earp in real life and in the show was a marshal. And he killed people, I guess, that need to be killed in the Wild West. I mean, there wasn't a lot of other ways to do things back then, I don't think. It was a man and his gun, I guess.
They do refer to it often as, like, the lawless times or whatever. Seems like a pretty wild time. You can just walk into a place and be like, this area where no one lives, I live there now. That's my land. Thank you. Goodbye.
Yeah. And it wasn't that all the bad guys he killed came back as revenants. It was anybody he killed with that gun came back as a revenant. So,
at least in the TV show, I guess.
Yes, in the TV show.
That would be wild lore to come out of the Wild West.
Yeah. But one of the bigger parts of the show is one of his best friends, he shoots... So, he shoots his friend because his friend tells him to shoot him. He's being held by the bad guy. If he shoots him, the bullet will go through his friend and kill the guy he's actually trying to kill. But it kills both of them. So, his best friend also goes to hell, then comes back as a revenant and is very salty about it.
Yeah. And it turns out he's one of the most fun characters. I like Bolo.
Yes.
But there's a whole bundle of, like, all of the characters in this show are surprisingly entertaining. There's a lot of different little things to each one that makes them fun. And I think that's the major draw, because like the main story is, again, just they're cursed because of Wyatt and his gun shooting down all these people, and all of them coming back as revenants like Bobo. And each generation or so, the Earps have to try and kill them all, and avoid being killed. Because whenever the Earp heir dies, the next person in charge of the Earp family dies, the revenants they killed come back again. And it'll keep happening until either the revenants kill off all the Earps, or until an Earp manages to kill off all the revenants.
Break the curse.
Exactly. And that's the main premise, is we gotta break this curse. And also, here's a cop procedural sometimes.
Yes, and they're all stuck in this area of what I'm assuming is either like Montana or the Dakotas or something.
Yeah, somewhere in that
because it's
zone.
like the Badlands. The Ghost River Triangle is what they're stuck in. Yeah. I looked it up to see if it was a real place because it just sounded really fun. It's not. Also, the town of Purgatory is not a real place.
I think there is a Purgatory, but not where they said it was.
Yes.
So, that's fun. You could go to a Purgatory. But yeah, it's like next to salt flats, but also next to like huge mountains and shit. Like, where this is, I have no idea. It's a huge swath of land.
Yes. Well, I mean, a lot of paranormal, supernatural stuff happens there. So, I mean, if anywhere is going to have trees that get up and walk by themselves, it's this place.
Indeed. So, with that premise set, the show tends to have a, like, what drama's happening now main story, while we're also going to kill all these demons and do all this thing today so we can get a little closer to solving our like long-standing curse. But that's weirdly, despite that being the central plot, like usually the plot B of like whatever episode, because each episode focuses on like Wynonna and Doc Holliday are having a weird romance right now. And there's a love triangle, there's all this and that. It really revels in having wild antics and silly drama and a lot of sexual energy.
So, if you do follow us on Instagram, you saw our most recent post about Wynonna Earp, and it is just a picture of Doc Holliday, played by Tim Rosen. I think I'm pronouncing that right. That's all it is, because going into this with you, I don't know if it's the quarantine or if it's like just so nostalgic to have the Cowboys around that I am deeply infatuated with Doc Holliday. But when I was little, my dad used to get me up for school and we would watch like Gunsmoke and Bonanza. And so I was always used to watching those things. Also Star Trek, but that never stuck as well. Don't hurt me. But I don't know, growing up, I was so used to watching Westerns and cowboy movies that as an adult, seeing that again after so many years, I was like, oh, hey, I like this stuff. I remember these. I have good memories associated with cowboys. So maybe it's that. I don't know.
Maybe it's just the
Somebody
mustache.
needs a psychology me. I don't know. Maybe it is just the mustache that it has so much power.
So much power in it. I personally think that it's the confused eyes.
He has beautiful eyes. Those beautiful blue eyes. And he's very good at looking confused.
That's the thing that gets me when he's most appealing as a character and visually, romantically, whatever you want to say, is when he looks like he has no idea what's going on. I'm like, ah, here, I want to teach you what a phone is. And you displaced human.
For context, he is displaced because he is the original Doc Holliday from like 1890 or whatever it may be. At one point, I think he says he is 166 years old. So He's old.
That's pretty
and
old.
he's been stuck in a well for most of it. So he doesn't know what anything is. He's a legit cowboy who, once he came out of this well, had no idea what was going on.
Which, again, best part about him is just, I don't know. Like, at one point, a character's phone makes a noise like he's looking at the screen, which he's already gotten used to that. Like, all right, they have tiny robot machines that have lights and shit. Fine. And it made a flash notification. He freaked the fuck out. And I was like, ha, nice. Like, that's good stuff. I like confused, out of time Doc. That's the best version.
Yeah. And this show does really well with, like, you think it's going to be goofy and campy and maybe too much, or you think it's going to take itself too seriously. But it's kind of in the middle, where it does take some of the plot seriously, but the characters themselves can be kind of witty and humorous and make jokes, and, like, I don't know, it's a good balance between the two.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Man, that's pretty much all about the plot that we're gonna get super into, just because it's a series, so there's a lot of different plots and a lot of nonsense. But as far as characters go, I really would like to get a little more into them. And I was wondering, obviously Doc is your favorite character, but we've talked a little bit about him. Displaced, out of time cowboy.
He lights a fire in my heart.
So
and in my heart.
In your heart. So anyways, tell me about another character that you find very compelling.
Well, like you said earlier, Bobo is really fun. I don't like that his name's Bobo. Like, how did you come up with that? I know his name's Robert, but, like, what made you think Bobo sounds intimidating?
It's really weird because he's like the main villain for a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's like, the Bobo. Evil demon, Bobo.
Yeah. Which, I mean, he knew Waverly, Wynonna's sister, when she was a kid. So maybe Waverly just called him Bobo, like a cute little kid not able to pronounce Robert or something. And he was like, that's cute. I'm keeping it.
That might be something, yeah.
But I would probably say Doc is number one. I really do like Jeremy. I like Jeremy and Nedley.
Nedley is pretty fun.
So Sheriff Nedley. I thought he was gonna be like the stereotypical. I don't know. I can't say Southern, but like stereotypical like country sheriff or whatever, who like doesn't like bigger government law sort of thing. I don't know. I didn't know what I expected. I just expected for him to not be that great. Mm-hmm. But he's very warm and like has a sweet uncle feel. Like you really feel safe around him, and he's just real cute.
He's also like the oldest person in the main cast. Mm-hmm. He's not in every episode like the other ones are, but he's one of the most reoccurring characters outside of them. And like he's the oldest one, and not like super old. He's not like in his 80s, like maybe 50 at the oldest, if that. Yeah. But like he seems like the kind of character who was designed to be old and out of touch, but they already gave that to Doc. Mm-hmm. So instead, he's very much like I was watching the newest show on Netflix and keeping up to date on all the hip trends. Yeah. But he's just like very like subtle about it.
In the last episode we watched, he is very distressed, but he mentions that in the same day he watched one of his deputies get their head basically ripped off by a vampire, and then went home and binge watched Pretty Little Liars. So it makes him a very fun guy. Like, he's an older middle-aged dude who he's aware of all these weird things happening in this town, and he's trying to keep everyone safe and keep the weird stuff under wraps. But at the same time, he just wants to watch bad TV. Yes, I'm calling Pretty Little Liars bad TV. And I don't know, drink a beer. What do old men do?
That seems about right. But yeah, it's fun to see him be like the pop culture kind of character when it's very unexpected. He's very fun, very tender. The last couple episodes have been, he's very like tired and sad, and things have been going poorly, and I'm genuinely impacted by that. I thought that was very emotional. But yeah. You mentioned a character that I'm particularly fond of, Jeremy.
Jeremy, yes. He's so fun. I thought he was going to die when they first showed his character. He just seemed like such a side, like, throwaway guy.
Yeah.
But then
he became a main character.
He stayed.
Yeah, he was like he was a red shirt that you kill off like off screen, and then he became a main character out of nowhere. It was super unexpected. I adore Jeremy. Very a handsome man, very cute, but also hilarious. Just constantly like hyperactive, never shuts the fuck up, always says the dumbest things, and like horrifyingly just awful at keeping any secrets. Like, you do not rely on this man for anything. I don't know what your face is. So
does he remind you of anyone? In your description just now?
A lot of protagonists from like anime or whatever are, except he's a lot smarter, and I really like him because like
you don't see like maybe he's kind of relatable.
I mean, he's very relatable. He's the most relatable person on the show. Aside from being, a big dumb idiot, he's very relatable. Why? What are you trying to imply?
I'm trying to imply nothing.
All right, but yeah, he's. I really like him for a lot of reasons, but one of which is he's very susceptible to just being told what to do.
Yeah.
And
he is also enchanted by Doc's mustache.
He is. Oh yeah, he's also a gay character. Yeah. Wynonna Earp, which
by the way
surprised me. The show is incredibly gay,
yeah.
And I did not expect it from a supernatural western. But that was nice. That was fun. Yeah. There's a couple other LGBT characters, and that's pretty cool. And yeah, in his first character introduction, Wynonna's sister Waverly, she's pretending to be whatever. She's like, "Hey, I'm gonna be a spy real quick and talk to you. Would you mind telling me how to open and unlock all the doors in this facility?" He's just like, "Yeah."
Yeah. Well, she's pretending to be from Scotland Yard, and she's like, "Well, our security doors don't work very well. You have to open all of them if you want to just open the one. What does yours do?" And he's like, "What? You mean like this?" And he just pushes the button to open all of the doors.
Yeah, and it's like
he's just trying to show off that there's his system that he has created is superior to Scotland Yard's as to what he believes. But in doing so, he forgets that he works at a high class facility that needs to be secretive.
Mm-hmm. It's an underground shady business facility, and that's not the end of it. Shortly after that, she's like, "I'm actually this person. Can you help me save my sister?" "Okay, sure. Let me unlock another door. Also, want to come with us?" No. I mean, sure. Okay, I'll go. Just constantly like, "Hey, do a thing." Okay. Okay. Okay.
Well, I mean, at first, him and Waverly were being chased by a creature, so he had nowhere else to go but with her. And then eventually, he just ended up being reprimanded by the head honchos and saying, "You have to go back to their town with them and be their scientist." And he was like, "Man, I really don't want to go to some small town, boring backwoods place." But he ends up really happy there.
Yeah, everyone seems to like him. I like him. He's a real fun part of the group. And he has a catchphrase in which he says that he feels things in his groin. And I do love that. For no particular reason. I just do.
It's fun.
What about another one? Who's next on the chopping block?
Well, my favorite characters are Doc, Natalie, and probably Jeremy. And all those are male. And it's not because I don't like any of the female characters. Wynonna's fun for a main character. I feel like I always, just a little bit, don't like the main character.
In most things, yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, she does make poor choices a lot of the times. But, I mean, that is also her character.
That's her brand. I'm Wynonna. I'm a fuck up.
Yeah. And she's like one of those people who they don't want to talk about their feelings. They just want to drink them away and like shoot things and
yeah, I feel like that's to be fair, that is a common like characterization of like a main character. It's like I mess everything up and I drink away my pains and so forth. So like, one, you're probably kind of bored of it. I'm bored of it by this point.
She's fun. Like, she's still funny and she's still a good person. It's just sometimes she deals with things probably not in the best way.
Yeah, it's far more entertaining when she's like, let's be silly and dumb and like, I don't know what I'm saying. I just want to try and have a good time while I risk my life because might as well.
Yeah.
My second favorite character after Jeremy, since your top three are Doc, Nedley, and Jeremy. My next favorite is Sheriff, I suppose. Hot.
Really?
Yeah, I like her a lot.
Well, yeah, she's a good character, but I didn't expect her to be like your favorite.
Yeah, aside from Jeremy, I find her to be the most relatable.
Well, she's more, I think,
grounded for sure.
Yeah,
she's definitely more normal.
She's one of the most normal people there.
But I don't know, just the fact that a big part of her characterization is just her watching everyone else be fucking stupid and going, okay.
Yeah, but she wants to be a part of it. She's not doing it because she's like, oh, look at them being stupid. She's going, oh, look at them being stupid. I wish I was doing it with them.
Yeah, that's true. But like, I mean, we've all been there. We want to be part of the main cast. But I don't know. I just find her eminently likable as a like out of town deputy sheriff lady who came in and was like, all right. So what's this town about? Oh, this is what this is about? Okay. I guess we're going to deal with this now. Mm-hmm. And it's just, I don't know. I think her exasperation with many of the situations and just plain nature, which is a little weird for me to say, but I like it. I think it's the same way that I sort of kind of like vanilla is my favorite ice cream flavor. Sometimes your favorite is just back to basics. Simple.
But she's not that simple because she was a survivor of a cult.
Yeah, she was a survivor of a cult. She's...
And she's... okay.
Yeah, she's one of the other three now, gay characters in Wynonna. Hot is dating Waverly. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the reasons I do like Hot as much as I do is because early on in like... I think it's like first, second episode, her and Waverly meet, and she's a bit smitten pretty quickly. Waverly's an attractive gal, and it's clear in the show that they're meant to have a little something, a little bit of chemistry there. And Waverly's dating some traditional high school quarterback sort of kid, fine enough kid, real dumb, and that's about it. Like there's not a whole lot to him other than just being... She
mentions to Wynonna that like there's not many choices in their little town.
Yeah.
And he was one of the better ones.
Yeah, although he did try to get with Wynonna in the first episode.
Yeah.
Like she said, not a whole lot of choices. She picked the least annoying one. But in like the first episode, her and Waverly and Hot meet, and they have a little interaction where Hot's basically like are talking to her about something, and Waverly mentions, I have my boyfriend or whatever. She's like, been there. You'll get past it sort of deal. Like, very, like, direct, like, all right, I mean, that'll pass. It'll come and go. And it's just very forward and very fun. Very fresh. After Hot, for me, I'm gonna say it's between Bobo and sometimes Dolls. Because Dolls, unlike everyone else in the show, is, got their ups and downs because of who they are, like their characterization. But Dolls, I think, is not always written consistently.
Yeah. I mean, his character does have a lot of issues. And maybe the weird, drastic changes in his personality have to do with his situation.
Maybe that's supposed to be implied, but it feels a little disconnected sometimes. and depending on which version of him is being displayed, I like him a lot more. My favorite version of Dolls is the, like, trying to have a fun time, like, all right, here's a fun little joke, but let's get back to work now. Like, just trying to have just enough fun, but still get shit done. Like, he does a pretty good job of that in many of the episodes, but there's just, I don't know, a bit of inconsistency in which he's like, I don't know, like a sad boy and all sorts of other little things that they throw in that just don't seem quite right. Doesn't seem to mesh. And then Bobo's just real fun.
Yeah, Bobo is fun. He's got a strange aesthetic for a man who took the world by storm in the Western times as like a banker or something.
Yeah.
But Dolls, my favorite personality, I guess, of his is whenever he's really buddy with Doc.
Yes, 100%. Like, they're always, they romantically are challengers of one another. So they're at odds often. But whenever they go, I love it. I love it a lot. I ship them before I ship anyone else. Bobo's a lot more independent from all the other characters because, like, he's mostly a villain for a good chunk of time. And actually, at all. Yeah. He's pretty much just a villain with a good guy backstory, I guess.
First, you think maybe he will become more of a good guy, or at least more of a neutral character, but no,
not quite there.
He just chooses the other team because he's like, I want to be on the winning side. He's one of those guys. Like, he'll help you if you're the one winning.
Mm-hmm. And like, at first, it made him seem as though he's a threatening villain. And as time progressed, you realize, oh no, that you only saw a couple snippets of him being a threatening man. But mostly, he's just fucking cuckoo. Mm-hmm. Like, he's out there. He has no idea what's going on or why. And that seems to have mostly been caused by going to hell like a few times.
Yes, he's the friend of Wyatt Earp's that was like, hey, Wyatt, shoot me to kill this bad guy. Mm-hmm. But then he's like, oh, wait. Now I'm going to be a revenant, but I'm such a good person, I shouldn't go to hell. And then he comes back from hell very angry.
Yeah. Poor Bobo.
Yeah. He's angry and just stuck in this small town. What happens to be named Purgatory.
Yeah, and no matter what happens, whenever he comes back, he seeks out a big fur coat, like an old, like, 70-year-old woman.
He's like a mountain man. But he does take care of Waverly. Yeah. He has a special connection with her. And at first you think, there's a lot of shenanigans that happen in the show that make you think he's actually her dad. Yeah. But then it turns out he's not the dad. He just, for some reason, really feels the need to, like, take care of her and protect her. Her dad is actually an angel, which...
yeah, they threw that in there out of nowhere.
That's wild. But...
Which, to be fair, though, they had been calling Waverly an angel since, like, season 1.
Yeah, so, like, you should have known, but...
Well, they've just been like, oh, you're my angel. You're such an angel or whatever. But... like, little whatever nonsense. But then it's like, oh, no, you're an actual angel? That's just been a thing?
You don't know if she's half angel.
She's half angel, whatever. But whatever the fuck that means.
It also just makes you think that he's calling her angel because it's his kid. Mm-hmm. But... that is not the case. Mm-hmm. But recently he told her he's done trying to protect her and trying to, like, be there for her because she thinks he's evil trash. And taking care of her has only brought him unfortunate things.
Truth. In her defense, he has been mostly bad.
Yeah.
As far as she has been able to see. And in his defense, he's insane.
Yeah. But, like, legitimately insane.
Like tortured into traumatic insane. But he's still very fun. Very opulent and, like, dramatic. Which is the most entertaining part about him. It's just how, like, lively he is on screen. Other than that, there's Waverly. She's the other like really important character that's left, and she's Wynonna's sister, and it seems like she's the most well put together for a while. Like she's the smartest one in the room usually, and she's very competent at all these little things and tries to make people happy. Like that's her whole shtick, is she tries to make everyone feel better. And I thought she was very nice. I feel like she's a very nice character. Real annoying sometimes, in my opinion.
Yeah, she's a good character. And I don't want to be like that person, but she is kind of too sweet for me. Like, I do like her, but I don't know. Like, there's an episode where she puts on a cheerleading uniform, and I just kind of went, of course you were a cheerleader. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like I don't like her. She's a great character. Her and Nicole have a really good relationship. Like, it's really fun, and she knows most everything about the town, and like it's weird cowboy history and everything, and it's really cool. She's very smart. It's just something she can be kind of stupid sometimes.
Yeah.
In her decision making.
Yeah.
And also just a little too sweet. And I understand she tried to be like the epitome of perfect, because her whole family was like, oh, we don't like you. Like their older sister always like being mean to her and kind of trying to get her killed.
A few times.
And like her dad not at all wanting anything to do with her because he knew that's not my kid.
Yeah.
So like she wanted to be noticed. So she did become the cheerleader. She became the prom queen because she wanted to feel that love and like that attention from people that she wasn't getting from her family. But now that she's an adult, it's just kind of annoying sometimes.
Yeah, like the overly sweet thing is it can be a bit grating in some characters for sure. And I'm not saying it isn't with Waverly, but the thing that got to me as being like about her character, the thing that kind of pulls me away from her that character, is that a big part of her whole characterization, a big part of her plot, is that she is trying to figure out where she fits in this family. Like, is she one of these? Is she an Earp? Is she part of this? Is she a half demon, half angel, whatever? And I don't know why, but that was the least entertaining arc, least entertaining bit of plot. Because like, I would have liked a lot more of if it had been revolved more around like maybe seeing from her perspective, like, I have to be super sweet and perfect for these reasons. And like, you get some of that, like you mentioned, but you don't really see it as much as just like knowing it happened. Where I think focusing on why she has this need to be so sweet would have been more entertaining than following her along this road of like, but who am I? Because like, you could still get to who am I through, so why am I this way? Oh, I'm this way because of this? Well, what does that mean about me? Who am I really? I feel like there could have been a better direction to go in with with her main motivations. Man. There's also one character who's kind of gone now and was only there for a little bit, but I liked her a lot. Rosita.
Oh, Rosita?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Mercedes.
Oh, Mercedes too? She was amazing.
Rosita is okay.
I don't know. I liked her.
She's fun. But I think she was just thrown in to be Doc's girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like, she was smart and she helped dolls, but I think she was just thrown into there to be some comedic character who causes tension between Doc and Wynonna.
True. That's very true. She was definitely just used as like dramatic tension between those characters. But I really liked her anyways. Like, I really liked her backstory. Just like, I wasn't even a bad person. I was just in a relationship with someone who he decided to kill, and then he killed me too. I shouldn't be a demon. And then like, she has obviously some unresolved issues with that, and the fact that she needs to be murdered for these people and all this stuff. And like, I think the way they showed her off in the show as being like a different kind of people pleaser. Like, doesn't care about making sure everyone's happy or whatever, but like the people she thinks are good people, she wants to help. She wants to be a nice person and take care of them. And it seems to revolve around the fact that she's technically a demon. She wants to be like, I want to be a good person. And I like that a lot.
Well, I mean, you don't find out she's a demon until, like, the last couple episodes she's there.
Yeah, but it really puts other things into perspective. And I was just like, yeah. Also, I just liked her. I think she was fun.
Yeah.
I like a lot of the characters that bring in drama. And in the most recent season, they bring in Doc's wife from the cowboy era. She's a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
I thought she was going to be evil. But she seems to genuinely just care about Doc. Which is weird. So I thought she was going to cause a lot of mischief. And, like, she causes a lot of grief between Doc and Wynonna, for sure. But not, like, in a super malicious, meaningful way. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, she does kind of mean to annoy Wynonna a little. But that's just because Doc used to be her husband. And technically still is, because they're both still alive. But, like...
and they definitely never got a divorce.
Yeah.
I think I just kind of like characters who are around just to stir shit up sometimes. And not in the like... I'm always a mean jerk kind of way, but in a, oh, this will be funny kind of way. Because that's, I don't know, more entertaining. Mm-hmm. It's more appealing to me. I like when there is drama of that caliber, of that kind. I like for it to be lighthearted and kind of swift. Because otherwise it just gets a little... Yeah. Yeah.
She seems to genuinely care about him. And... in the last episode we watched, it's like earlier when I talked about True Blood, how I really liked it until there was stinking fairies. And then it was kind of like, really? What? You didn't have to bring in fairies. And then Wynonna Earp, I was like, yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, there's vampires? Yeah, okay, I guess. That's silly and goofy, but that's kind of the thing of the show. And then... Doc loses his immortality power ring, whatever. And he finds immortality in a new, exciting way.
Yeah, he gets recruited to be a vampire, and
yeah. Well, she got hurt because she was attacked by the big bad guy of the season, and I guess the only way for her to heal this particular wound is to drink blood. And he was there, and Wynonna was all, I don't need you, look at this new cop guy that I have a thing for. So Doc was feeling unwanted and unneeded, and his wife from 100 years ago needed him and wanted him to be there and said she loved him and do anything for him. And he was like, yeah, I want to be needed. I want to be wanted. Mm-hmm. So yeah,
he got
my neck.
He got himself bit. That should be fun. That should be a hoot. Hopefully.
I guess. I will be honest, I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not excited about it. I think it's kind of lame, but I will continue to watch to see what the outcome.
But yeah, that's pretty much everything. That's every character that really matters, and it's a pretty fun show. We got into a lot of like little character things that you sort of pop up as like, ooh, wow, oh gosh. But it's very much more than just those little character moments. It's like just relationships between all these characters that make this show really pop.
Mm-hmm. There's still all the the paranormal stuff.
Mm-hmm. All the real all the main plot things.
Yeah, like there's cool revenants with different powers who can take the voices of things. There's giant spider demon witches. There's trees that get up and walk around. There's demons that are actually giant, weird, misty slugs. It's pretty interesting when you get to the paranormal stuff. Mm-hmm. Supernatural stuff.
And I'm always a big fan of a magic gun.
Yeah.
But I think that's all I've got to say about this pretty fun show.
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right. Well, definitely go watch it sometime. Mm-hmm. Next up on our docket is Doom Eternal. So
Doom.
if you got a chance, play it a little bit of it, and then come chit chat with us about it.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think about Wynonna, what you think about Doom Eternal, and everything else. And just before we go, wanted to give a big thank you to a incredibly generous, horrifyingly generous person named Mary.
Yeah. Or by a better name.
Yeah, their username was Anamatiti. And
Which is so great.
I thought it was anonymous, but it was Anamatiti. And I noticed in the profile picture, it just looks like the anonymous person. But when you click on it, see the whole thing, there's 2 fake titties drawn on there. So I didn't notice that. I thought it was actually anonymous, but no, it was not anonymous. It's just a hilarious username.
Yes.
But Mary is the name. Thank you very much for your donation. It's really appreciated, especially during these horrifying times.
Yes, it came as a unexpected surprise, and we were very grateful for it.
So yeah, we said you could give us some suggestions because it wasn't through the usual means and other stuff. So we'll be doing the stuff you want from us. And also, if you want to get a message to a friend, let us know. You paid more than enough for all of it. So whatever you want to say to someone, we'll say it for you if you have that desire. So let us know.
Yeah.
Bye.